So the question arises in my mind, is the President of the United States going to outlaw the Democratic Party? Is that where we're headed? Is the President of the United States going to unleash the Justice Department on the Democratic Party?
Is that your concern?
It's absolutely a concern.
Yeah, so my best friend and co-host of the Vocal Minority podcast, Nick Reynolds, Nick called me last night and asked me if I was ready to go to jail for the things that I've said on our show and here on this YouTube channel. And I, of course, laughed. You know, this is America. We kind of protect free speech here. Well, we used to. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's shooting, everyone's been wondering if Trump is going to use this as an excuse to come after the left or anyone else that he disagrees with. And I am now sad to say that I share the concern that Nick asked me about, and apparently we're not alone. We've even got some MAGA types saying that the White House and the DOJ have crossed a line that even Charlie Kirk wouldn't be okay with. And I've got several depressing clips to play for you that show exactly why we should all be worried about what is coming next. So hit subscribe to Really American Media. And to all of our friends watching from other countries, and I know there's a lot of you, I see you in the comments, do you have a couch that I can crash on? I'm only kind of joking. Let me start off by playing the full clip that I started this video with. This is Jamal Simmons, a CNN political commentator, on with Caitlin Collins last night.
But the question then becomes, the president's deputy chief of staff came out today and called the Democratic Party an extremist organization after the president said that he was going to take action against extremist organizations. So the question arises in my mind, is the president of the United States going to outlaw the Democratic Party? Is that where we're headed? Is the President of the United States going to unleash the Justice Department on the Democratic Party?
Is that your concern?
It's absolutely a concern. This president has shown that he's willing to use the Department of Justice to go after his political enemies. He said that pretty much openly. And now his deputy chief of staff, who's really the policy director of the White House, is calling the Democratic Party an extremist organization. It raises very real questions about a two-party democratic system in this country, even though obviously we're all concerned about all the big issues the president raises, like crime and terrorism and those things. I don't think the Democratic Party is one of those organizations.
Yeah, the Democrats are clearly not an extremist group, but there is nothing to stop Trump from declaring that we are and going into full authoritarian dictator mode on us. And not only can and will Trump designate whomever, whatever he wants, but as we heard this morning, Trump will also redefine what hate speech is to do so.
What do you make Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
She'll probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So maybe they'll have to go after you.
Yeah, not only did our dear leader just threaten to go after John Carl from ABC News, he just invented his own definition of what hate speech is. Apparently, it now includes any criticism of dictator Trump. Talk about a slippery slope. And his DOJ, they're teeing up this mindset to come after the left.
There's free speech, and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
Yeah, now for the record, when it comes to so-called hate speech, here's what the guy that she just brought up, Charlie Kirk, had said on the topic. Quote, hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment. Keep America free. Apparently Pam didn't read that one. And Bondi took it a step further on Fox News.
And employers, you have an obligation to get rid of people. You need to look at people who are saying horrible things, and they shouldn't be working with you. Businesses cannot discriminate. If you want to go in and print posters with Charlie's pictures on them for a vigil, you have to let them do that. We can prosecute you for that. I have Harmeet Dillon right now in our civil rights unit looking at that immediately, that Office Depot had done that. We're looking at that.
Yeah, the party that's okay with a cake maker denying services to gay people now wants all businesses to bend to their will if they don't want to offer services to a conservative. And this is after an Office Depot employee refused to print a Charlie Kirk event poster, which got them fired. And this glaring hypocrisy drew the ire of conservative commentator Matt Walsh, who said in part, "Get rid of her today. This is insane." Conservatives have fought for decades for the right to refuse service to anyone. We won that fight. Now Pam Bondi wants to roll it all back for no reason. This is totally gratuitous and pointless. And after Walsh and other MAGA types pointed out this glaring hypocrisy, Bondi tried to clarify it by saying that she only meant hate speech was bad if it incites violence, which has always been illegal, unless you're Donald Trump on January 6th.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
Yeah, but the fascist hypocrisy doesn't end at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, as Elon Musk just stuck his foot in his big dumb mouth too. Destiny, who is a popular left-wing commentator, as I'm sure you know, went on the Piers Morgan debate show last night and got MAGA all riled up with his comments on Trump refusing to lower the temperature in our country.
I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side. We are 10 years into whatever this Trump madness is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down.
If it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
So you won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk until Donald Trump says something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Why
is your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why do you
is
think?
your
No, let me
behavior
ask a
contingent
question.
on Donald Trump?
Let me ask a question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the opposing political party.
Destiny. Let me
You
just...
have a huge audience of young men who listen to everything you have to say. So when it doesn't matter. You have a huge audience. And because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you have a responsibility to not turn... No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken. I actually care about the country and want to bring people together. You do the opposite. You represent the worst of us, Destiny. You're embarrassing.
You should tell Donald Trump.
All right, let me ask Destiny a question.
Watch how easy this is.
Hang on, don't all shout at once, please.
If Donald Trump would have come out and said, hey, we should all be less violent, I have no problem saying
I have one question for you, Destiny.
Why can't conservatives do that? Why can't conservatives do that?
Yeah, that rant, which correctly states that Trump refuses to unify the country, drew some harsh words from mega goon Elon Musk, who posted on X that, quote, incitement to murder and domestic terrorism is a felony crime. For that, he should go to prison. He can resume streaming when he has served his term, end dumb quote. That is unbelievable. Musk doesn't like what Destiny said, and he wants him jailed. Now, if only I had a clip of Musk saying that he defends all free speech, and it only counts if you defend the speech of people you don't like. God, if only I had a clip like that.
We must protect free speech. And free speech only matters, it's only relevant when it's someone you don't like saying something you don't like, because obviously speech that you like is, it's easy. The thing about censorship is that, sure, for those who would advocate it, just remember, at some point, that will be turned on you.
Well, hypocrite much? And speaking of flaming hypocrites, J.D. Vance, he better watch his back, because Trump might come after him for the things that he has said, because remember, apparently it's hate speech if you criticize King Trump.
And I know you've been asked about this before, about past comments that you've made about Donald Trump. You've said, I'm a never Trump guy, never liked him, terrible candidate, idiot if you voted for him, might be America's Hitler, might be a cynical a-hole, cultural heroine, noxious and reprehensible.
Well, how nice. JD and Destiny can share a cell together at Guantanamo Bay, and I'll be right across the way from them. But all joking aside, there is something brewing in D.C., and Trump is hell-bent on coming after the left. So I no longer think it's crazy to suggest that the Democrats could be labeled an extremist group, or that left-leaning political commentators could be deplatformed or prosecuted for hate speech, also known as free speech. But I will gladly fight the good fight, and no wannabe dictator is going to shut me up. But I can only do it if you support this channel. So please like this video, comment below, and for the love of democracy, get vocal. And maybe get a GoFundMe account going for my legal bills. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.